Well, as a doctor and singer, I guess I am often far removed from the sufferings of ordinary people feel when they attend hospitals. When you add the hustle of how they manage to even get to the hospital, then that is another matter. I, by virtue of being a doctor, can walk into any hospital at any time, and just by mentioning my name and profession, I will probably be given some form of protocol treatment. 2 weeks ago, I went jogging and met my friend Michael on the way. We got into a conversation, and it was then that he alerted me that we had only 52 working ambulances in the National Ambulance Service. Then my mind went back to the issue of the inadequacy of ambulances in our system. This piece is by award-winning Ghanaian singer and physician Nilante, and he's here in the studio. On the back of what we've seen, what has he got to say first of all? What I shared are your words.
Yes.
What you watched this morning,
yeah,
and the fact that we only have 2 ambulances. What have you got to say?
Well, I think it's a hard life for the underprivileged in society. I mean, for those who are privileged and can commandeer a private ambulance, well, they might not be feeling the pinch that much. But for like the ladies you showed, I mean, that is a really hard life, you know. And I think it's a sorry state, because after 60 years of being independent, and we still cannot boast of a proper ambulance service. I mean, look at the number of people that we have in Ghana, over 30 million. And we have just about 50-something public ambulances. I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. So I wrote this song actually out of frustration, you know, frustration and anxiety and a little bit of anger.
But until you went on the you met Michael whilst you were jogging.
Yeah, Michael.
Because you work in the facility, you take care of the sick. You didn't know this was what was happening?
I knew you have problems sometimes commandeering ambulances and things, but you know, we sort of all complain in our small corners, and then we let life go on, you know. But then I had an experience that was just about 3 weeks ago. I was on leave, and there was this, I was passing through the hospital, and I was called by some of the nurses and the doctors to come and see what was happening. And there was this girl who was on an Okada, and no, it wasn't an Okada, it was a motorbike, I think, and there was a guy who was, and she fell from the back of the motorbike, and apparently a car coming from behind passed over her. So I went to see this girl. She was bringing blood up from the nose and from the mouth and from the, I don't even know where the blood was coming from. And she needed some critical care. So we started to stabilize her. We did that. And then it got to the hustle of getting her transferred from where I work to a critical care unit. And that's where the hustle started, you know. And there was so much confusion as we waited and waited and waited. And you know what? Someone would say, why didn't you just put her in a taxi or just any V8?
But even before you go there, you work in a hospital.
Yeah.
Isn't that, you know, just a few numbers away? Just dial the number and the ambulance service would be there to pick up the patients.
Yes, but that is the problem, that sometimes you can't get through to them easily, and I don't know why. Maybe it's a question of communication. And also, you should know that there's a lot of demand on them as well. So the reason might be because they've been commandeered by other people. So what we face is that you try to get an ambulance, you don't get it. And so eventually we hustled and hustled and hustled, and she was sent to the critical care unit.
How?
How
was she transported?
By an ambulance. It came late.
After how long? You had to wait for how long?
After about 40 minutes, you know. And there were police officers who were coming there because they were there. They saw what had happened at the site. So they sort of, and there was a whole lot of confusion at the place, because the motorbike rider was saying it was his fault, and the guy in the cart was saying he wasn't. So there was a whole lot of confusion, and we're trying to resolve things accordingly. Eventually we got
40 minutes in the life of a patient who needs critical care could mean so much.
It's crazy, you know, and you know, like I was saying, someone say, well, why don't you put her in a taxi or something? But you see, we make some very big mistakes. Sometimes when there's an accident or something happens, we take it upon ourselves to put the person in a taxi or in a trotro or whatever, and be stopping cars and be wheeling at fast speeds, jerking the car and all that. Sometimes you don't know what is happening to the patient. Sometimes there may be a cervical cord injury. You know, that is like in the spinal cord. And you just need a little bit of a shift out of position, and this person is going to be probably paralyzed for life, or may lose their life because he can't breathe. The respiratory sensors are all messed up. He can't breathe anymore. So when someone is really injured in an accident or some emergency situation, you need that specialized unit to be able to transfer the person from the scene of the accident to where the care is. Otherwise, you may probably be the one who even killed the patient. And then they just come to the hospital and say, oh, but it's probably because all the steps that should have been taken during the transportation wasn't available. And that one, you can't expect taxi drivers or V8s or Mercedes Benzes to do that. It's only ambulances, And so I got home that morning. It was around 5 a.m. and I just decided, no, man. I just took a pen and I started writing, and I got this song.
The song you launched yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you hoping the song would do? Who is the song targeted at exactly?
Well, it's in reggae we say we are bawling out. We are wailing. We are protesting to whoever the cap fits to sort the situation out. You understand? We are just the mouthpiece of the people as musicians. Yeah, we sing to entertain, we sing to educate, we sing to comfort, but sometimes too, we have to sing to echo the needs and what is happening in the streets. When you go into the streets, the kind of things you hear people say, the kind of language they even use to express that anger, that is what we try to communicate through music, so that others who can do something about it do what they have to do about it. And this song is not about an NDC MPP thing, because this problem has been persisting.
It's interesting how everything tends to be
It's amazing, it's exactly
political. Like it's either one government or the other, or one political party or the other.
Exactly.
And I guess that is what prevents us from solving our issues.
Exactly. It is actually a class issue. It is a class issue because you have a situation where those in the elite echelons of society are always getting the best of everything, getting more of the privileges, whilst and the nation's resources are there. There should be some equitable distribution of wealth, or at least equal opportunity for everyone. But you don't get that. So the poor are always marginalized. And you go and make this argument, people say, oh, but there are private ambulance services. How many poor people can access that? So
but even at the point of you're a hospital, you're calling an ambulance for a patient, who is even going to pay for it if it comes at a cost? Because here's the patient who needs critical care.
That is the problem.
Are you then going to negotiate with the person and say, I'm not getting any free ambulance, but the only option is to get a private one. It's going to cost 200 Ghana cedis.
That is the problem.
Are you ready to pay it?
And you see, when you put up that argument, and there's some time wasting, and something happens to the patient, that is when you see the press coming at you. The doctors and the nurses that you delayed and you did this, and instead of taking care of the patient, you were asking for money, you were asking about prices and things like that. So everybody is put in an uncomfortable situation, So look, why don't we do what is necessary first? This song, I talk about V8s. It's not only V8s per se. It's for me, the V8s is only a symbol. It's a symbol of appropriating the nation's resources more towards the luxury or the creature comforts of a few. And I think that's very unfortunate.
Well, come to the other side of the fact that, wait a minute, we could have a lot more than we have in the country, but there are some parts locked up at the ports, and that whole issue is turning out to be something else. I'll get your reaction, but of course, this is a huge cause. And we posted the fact that we're hosting you and your comments on Facebook, and we're getting some reactions. I think it's a good time. This is your post about the song and the content, and here's some reaction that we're going to be sharing with our viewers. So here we go. This one says, my mom died when she was being moved from Tema General Hospital to Kolibo in an ambulance without oxygen. the conversation is also about what kind of ambulance system we have in the first place. Is it just a vehicle with an ambulance rating on it, or what do you expect to see in an ambulance?
Exactly.
What should be in there?
I mean, there should be things for resuscitating a patient, basically. I mean, the patient is in shock. You should be able to have drips, IV fluids. You should be able to have defibrillators. The person has a, you know, you can have a heart attack in traffic. And then when that happens, you may need to be shocked back into life and all those things, you know, and all these things should be in the ambulance service.
Let's share
should be in the ambulance.
Yeah. Let's share some more comments. Safi says, reality doc, my mom would have lived a little longer if the ambulance that moved her from Tema General Hospital to Kolibu Hospital was equipped with oxygen. So this is the second comments with an oxygen, the absence of oxygen on board the ambulance. More of your comments. Shelley says, a tip of the iceberg. Ashanti Mampong, a woman, okay, so I guess in Ashanti Mampong, a woman carried her baby and walked for miles. It took hours. She got to the hospital and the baby died. Okay, so she decided, the physician, to tell her it was going to be fine and the child will live. The physician took a while because he couldn't do it. He could just crush her hopes. He had tears in his own eyes when he finally told the woman. She carried her dead baby back home. How sad. It can't get any sadder than this. If only we had ambulances that actually work. But it turns out, and if you are following conversations, particularly on radio, and our sister station, Joy FM, the Super Morning Show, did extensive conversations on this, where a contractor who is bringing in, you know, the things that we need to equip those vehicles that we have sitting there called ambulance, those things are locked up. And we're playing politics again with the situation. Yeah, I wonder how you feel about that.
I really don't want to wade into that issue because I listened to Joy FM, I think 2 days ago, and I heard the contractor speaking, and I haven't heard the side of the other parties involved. So, and I don't know the details. So all I know is that we don't have enough ambulances, and we have a lot of luxury vehicles that are being bought for all these parastatals and state organizations. And I don't see the reason. I just can't get it. I don't see the reason why. You know, I thought that, look, we do what is important first. You know, for you driving the V8, if right now you have a stroke or something happens to you, would you want to continue to be transported in your V8, or you want to use an ambulance? You know, so I think we should just do the essential things first, you know. So
let me share with you some scenes that our cameras captured. This is a story done by one of my colleagues, Jojo Kwabena, in Pandai. And Jojo did not set out to do the story specifically. He just chanced upon this woman who was pregnant, about delivering, but she was being transported on a motorbike. I want you to watch this.
Using the Salaga to Pandai District Road in the northern region of Ghana is a nightmare. Even with a good vehicle, navigating Pandai is very difficult. And as the dust settles, we are greeted with this. Idon Kerr is in pain. She can hardly balance on the motorbike. We learned despite her laboring throughout the night, the baby would just not come out. She had just started bleeding, so her husband and sister carried her on the motorbike to the hospital. At a point, we couldn't bear simply filming a woman in labor groaning on a motorbike.
Okay, let's go, Khalid.
takes more than 1 hour on the motorbike to the Pandai Polyclinic, the nearest health facility. But with our four-wheel vehicle, we could make it there in 45 minutes. Even in the relative comfort of our vehicle, Crow still winces in pain as we move on the road riddled with potholes. Her sister clutched her family to give her support, but the liver pains were excruciating.
The hospital left or right? Okay.
Eventually we got to the hospital, but we could not use the main entrance because of construction works there.
What's the next discount? Mama, Chief, sit down, sit down. You sit down, sit down. You sit down.
You relax, relax, so that we can get the wheelchair quickly get her. So we're just waiting for a wheelchair to carry Yidankurt into the hospital. We couldn't get access to the main entrance because motorbikes had blocked the place and there was no access. And so currently we are waiting for a wheelchair so we can carry her through to the hospital so that she can safely deliver.
Let her come down small. If not, she's heavy. You can't lift her. Ah. Hold on. Sit down. Can I sit?
Interestingly, we were about the first vehicle in a long while to bring in a patient, as most of them arrived there on motorbikes, the most common means of transportation. We finally make it to the delivery ward and the medical team takes over.
The baby is coming.
It has been 30 minutes already and Idonkrow's baby is still yet to come out. Her situation begins to deteriorate. The only obstetrician there is away for medical training in the regional capital, Tamale. According to the Ghana Health Service protocol for fetal distress, as is happening in Idonkrow's case, the nurses are supposed to call for help, arrange for an ambulance, and refer her to a better equipped facility.
The baby is alive, but because of the way she wasn't cooperating in the position of the baby that I wasn't getting, but when they did the scan, it's still alive.
But vehicles are rare here, and ambulances are actually a lot harder to come by.
And that's Jojo Kobina's award-winning story, but as the content is the effects that we want this story, the kind of response that we wanted to carry. And you know, you were watching this, I'm sure you were asking some questions. You've been to other places. What makes the systems work?
Plenty questions going through my mind. I mean, first of all, what is even the number for the ambulance service, if there was one? First, there wasn't any. If there was, what is the number? When they got to the hospital, was the metal trolley the best way to transport the patient, and all sorts of things. You see, people ask me, will I have a video for this song? And I'm thinking of doing a video, but on the other hand, I'm like, the video is our life. What we are living in Ghana is the video to this song. You've just, this is like a video to the song. We are the directors. Ghanaians are the directors of the video. So it's left to us.
What makes...
Just this afternoon, I'm sure, when you leave here and you're in town, you see the same thing playing out, either in traffic or something, and you see some car stopping other cars and some rough way of transporting patients, you know. So that's the video.
I mean, can we resolve this? Can we solve this?
Yes, I think so.
How?
I think so. Yeah, because almost every government that we've had since independence tells us that Ghana is so rich that we don't need to beg. So if we are so rich, Why don't we use the money or whatever we get from the resources we have, and the money itself, the cash itself, to do these simple things? These are the essentials. These things are called essential services. You know, I don't think spending money on other things, I mean, take priority over these things.
You describe it as simple.
Yes. Well,
I mean, if it's simple, why haven't we been able to do it?
Yes, I'm saying it is simple because, I mean, all these people who, all these our fathers, uncles, etc., who all become presidents and vice presidents and ministry, finance ministers and everything, they tell us that we have enough money. So then what is the problem? And you can't tell me too that we don't have money, because I see money being spent in buying luxury stuff. So it means there is the money.
What do you think as a people we can do?
I think we just have to be real. Look, I'm hearing stories about what the Rwandan president is doing and putting discipline into it. So I think that it is just a will, a strong will to do the right thing. You know, President Kufuor, he was from the NPP. The NPP is out there, it is seen to be like on the capitalist side of the political divide. But surprisingly, he's the one who thought it fit to start the National Ambulance Service. And I think I give him a big thumbs up for that, you know. But since he did that, what else has happened? All the other people who come after that, what else has happened? Even now, what is happening? I understand
even that the 52 figure we're given, we may not necessarily even have 52.
That is another issue, you know. And I'm sure some of them are malfunctioning. So I don't know.
So let's, you know, with the song, you know, like as an artist, as a physician, you're limited to the hospital, to the theater, it's you and the patients.
Yeah.
But as an artist, you are able to talk, to speak through what you also use in entertaining people.
Yeah.
What do you think, because the music is for all of us,
yes,
what should we be doing with it to provoke the kind of response to get this issue fixed?
Okay, I'll broaden it a little bit. Not even only this issue, but there are so many other issues in society that should be commented about. I'll talk from an artist's point of view. I mean, a lot of people say I sing lovers rock and I'm into lovers and doing songs about love, etc. But we can't close our eyes forever to the things that are happening around us. Like I said, musicians, we are supposed to be commentators. We are supposed to be the mouthpiece of the people. We are supposed to protest. I think that we have to take it upon ourselves to sometimes sing some positive things small, you know, some conscious lyrics. Let's raise the consciousness of the people, or let us bring the whatever is being expressed onto the street, let us be the medium to transfer that to the people in authority, so that if they are not hearing, they will hear. And then they will probably act on behalf of the people in what they are hearing. And I think musicians are very powerful. I mean, if you look at Bobby Wine and all these people around the world, Bob Marley, etc., look at what they were able to achieve. So I think we should try and maybe get away from the love small, you know, the let's party, you know, ososisi and things, and let's get to the reality on the ground.
So this song is you being angered by the situation of lack of ambulances, and you just wanted to let it out.
Yes.
Can you introduce it as we play it?
Okay. Yeah, this is Nilante, K-N-I-I-L-A-N-T-E. And we're trying to be real this time, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I'm saying that let us do what is essential. And I'm saying let us spend more money on providing ambulances than to go around buying V8s and luxury vehicles for directors in state companies and those things. Yeah, man.
Africa.
And where can sense be this? Make you pass me my mic. Make her free up my mind. I don't give a damn this time. Ooh, yeah. Only 52 ambulances.
Pressure
for the people. Yeah, 1,000 V8s for ministers, directors. Take parliament enter. 52 ambulances for my people. 1,000 V8s for ministers, directors. Them take parliament enter. Only 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them only 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them people we bought 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the director. Them. What is the same? We dey watch them. As they cruise 1,000 V8s in the city. We dey watch them. People we for start vex. We dey watch them. In the streets I dey hear. And this your bombo clat thing must stop. Excuse my French in this time. Too much bombo clat things. Too much rascal sucking our blood every day. A bombo clat things. Them a rascal. Too much foolishness I go on in this time. Yeah. Rascals. Only 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them only 52 ambulances, 1,000 V8 for the minister. Them people we bought 52.
This is a song that is supposed to make us vex. Nilante is here.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful song.
Thank you.
It's got a very strong message.
Yeah.
52 ambulances, 1,000 V8s for the ministers.
Yeah.
You want the people to be angry.
Yeah. I'm not. They're already angry. If you go out to the streets, if you like go to Avena right now, you see they're angry. If you like, try it. I'm challenging Joy FM. Go to the streets and ask. If you haven't heard it, I'm challenging you.
When artists do their work, I mean, like you've said, people want to listen to the lovers rock, the love bits.
Mm-hmm.
When you send a message like this, I think the worry is that those who are supposed to play it and get the message across, because they are also tuned to a certain roots, they don't get it, do they? We're talking about the DJs, the presenters, those who are supposed to get everybody to listen to this.
You know, sometimes I think that way as well. But I'm surprised at what is happening since I put out this song since yesterday. Because I'm having all sorts of retweets and plays from DJs who I didn't expect to play these songs. I mean, DJs who do drive time and play all the reggae dancehall and the lovers and the Afro beats and things. But yesterday I was surprised to find out that, Charlie, a lot of DJs have picked the song up and are running with it. I think people have a need to have their feelings.
Nobody asked you for Payola?
No, I haven't even thought about it. No, at all. The song,
which is a good thing,
yes,
because it means that we're listening, we're following.
Exactly.
This is also what we feel.
Exactly. That is the point.
Should we give ourselves a certain timeline? Like, how do we monitor the situation? How do we continue to put the pressure on those who are supposed to fix the problems?
I think we just have to talk a lot, make a lot of noise, organize as people. I mean, the masses. Let's get ourselves into organizations, cells. Let us influence our parliamentarians. and let them in turn put pressure on government. If they don't do it, we vote them out.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for spending a bit of your morning here on News.
Just one last thing before I go. Black Rasta featured on this song.
Yes, yes.
And I think for all of those who are listening, just make sure you listen to the end of the song. Black Rasta does some very wonderful work at the end there.
Thank you so much for your time. That's physician and musician Nee Lante sharing what is on his heart and really what is on all of our hearts with us here on a Friday edition of News Desk. When we come back, here's another action that we're hoping that we can all be learning from. Google staff from some parts of the world walking in protests of treatment of women in their company. Stay with us. We'll be back with the details.